Hey, everybody. This is Randa from Reason to Row, co-creators, Boutique Espiritu. So I haven't been on in a while because I'm reprogramming things. Don't mind me. Hair's not done. No makeup on because this is a part of my 5 a.m. club. 5 a.m. club is for people who have a full day and have certain goals that they want to obtain. And so you use the first energies in the morning and you put that effort forward before you give out your energy to anybody else, right? So at any rate, some of my vlogs are going to come out like this. So this video is about the warnings, the do's and don'ts regarding YouTube general readings. Now, if you look at my page, I have tried my hand at the general readings. It's really not for me. The type of readings that I do, it's more to truly help people on their spiritual awakening, on their path to create the type of life that they want. And it's very difficult to speak that language in a general reading because everybody's trajectory is so different. People are coming into the game at different points. And so those general readings does not serve the population that I serve. Now, it does serve when I do divine feminine, divine masculine readings. So I was actually guided spiritually to do some of those. So I don't do them, regularly, but I do them. All right. So this is not a diss. This is not a call to stop using them, but it is a call to consider how to use them responsibly. Okay, so this is the vlog edition of the blog that I wrote. So the blog is in print and it is up on my website. The website will be in the description. Okay. All right. So here are some tips, some advisements from me, Randa, how to most effectively use the YouTube readings. The whole thing is not here. Okay. This is how many pages it is. Okay, that goes behind. All right. So as you should know, general readings are readings in which a reader will tap into the general energies out there. They may not be all the energies within the world, but Spirit knows who's going to be coming to that person's reading, right? And so there's a common denominator in terms of the energies. And so that reading speaks to that common denominator, right? The greater good. What message does Spirit need to get out there? Now, what's amazing that on YouTube, some readers will have similar messages. The energies that really speaks to, the general energies that are out there. But then some readers have conflicting messages. So how do you, as a YouTube tarot watcher, avoid the pitfalls and the confusion of, okay, this reader, this is my favorite reader, they're saying X, Y, and Z. This reader I adore, but it's opposite. Like, where do I go? What do I do? How do I use this information? Now, what's great about YouTube is that it has so many different readers. And these readers have all different types of style, from the shuffle to the content, to the perspective of how they read, to how Do they honor cards that drop? Some readers do not honor cards that drop. Some readers only read cards that drop. Some readers only read cards that drop if they're face up. Some readers only honor cards that do not fall on the ground. So there's a myriad of, different ways in which readers read here on YouTube. The talent is amazing. And what resonates with you, what style, what attitude, what they bring to the table, what resonates with you it's really important. Not only the reading, because if that reader does not resonate with you, if you can't stand the way they talk or stand the way they shuffle, you're not going to hear the message, right? So there's so many variables that are out there. So I will do a video on my favorites that are out there, and I'm no YouTube expert in terms of knowing everybody that's out there, because I'll hear other readers talk about certain readers that have influenced them, and I've never heard that person before. Excuse me. I always yawn on video. Can't help it. Okay. So the pros of the YouTube general tarot readings. One, you can receive free insights that resonate, right? And it's crazy because some of these general readings can feel like a personal reading because the way in which it resonates. You can find a reader whose style resonates with you, right? So if you go on, the Google and you Google, I need a reading, let me Google someone. Or if you get a recommendation from a friend or family member of a reader, or if you go on some of these reading sites, it's hit and miss, right? But on YouTube, you're watching for free and you're seeing what resonates for free, okay? A lot of readers combine the tarot with the zodiac. That's what blew my mind, right? Because I was going through a spiritual awakening a long time ago. Excuse me. Another video yawn. And I I really didn't have money to pay for someone for a reading. So I said, well, let me look up my horoscope. Let me see if YouTube has something with horoscopes. So I just looked up horoscope, and then boom, I fell into this world, right? And it was amazing. And so when you combine the tarot with the zodiac, zoom, energetically, covering my yawn, energetically, you can narrow down the general reading, right? That's very specific. It could be to your sun sign. It could be to your moon sign. It could be to your Venus. It could be to your rising sign. And if you have time and energy, you can look at the varying ones and you can see how they resonate. You can pull out, a deeper message. I went right into the next bullet. And you can also learn a lot about spirituality. Now, all readers do not go deep into spirituality. And what I find is that there's a lot of readers that have cursory knowledge, right? And then when somebody is really in deep spiritual doo-doo, meaning they're under spiritual attack or they just have a lot of negative energy around them. There's many YouTube readers who do not have the knowledge on how to help them navigate that and get free of that, right? So you got to be careful because people are out here taking advice, and the advisement does not pertain directly to a serious situation, spiritual situation. But you can learn a lot about I'm so sorry. I don't know how to, I always, whether I'm talking about tarot, whether I'm talking about traditional education, or whether I'm talking about creativity, those are the three divisions in my company, Little Pro Education Group. I always join on videos. Okay. Um, there's plenty of readers out there that have a lot of information on spirituality. And during those readings, they will give you insights and tidbits because, I'll watch a reading. I'm like, yes, tell it, right? So, those are the ones that are a little bit more deep and they have a little bit more breadth, but there's also readers out there. Another pro with the YouTube readings is that you can connect with other people via the chat feature, especially if that reader is on live, right? But also in the comment section, if they're not on live, you can, you can build with other people. Now, also the benefit is that most readings are timeless. I remember I was watching YouTube and I fell asleep on it. And this is when I was going through my spiritual awakening, an early part. And I went to sleep and the videos kept spooling into the next video. And this woman that I still have in my saved, my favorites, and I'll talk about her definitely because she was a game changer in the other video. I woke up. I was still asleep, but I was conscious to what she was saying, and what she was saying resonated like freaking crazy. To the point that when I woke up, I remembered some of the things she said and knew I had to go back. Excuse me. So I went back into my history and I found her. It was only like a couple of videos back, if that. And I listened to the whole message, and the whole message was so bonkers. It was so bonkers. It was so bonkers. It was a game changer. And yeah. And I still have her. I don't watch her too much because I got the spiritual message that I outgrew a lot of these YouTube readers. Not to say that I'm better than, but I outgrew them. And so therefore it's going to be difficult for me to watch a video and for them to help me. And like literally that's where you want to get. You want to get to that space where you've outgrown them. Spirit will draw to you to important messages, just like when I was asleep, right? Spirit will draw you to the right people. So don't worry about that. This is a great way, just like me. It added to my spiritual journey, right? Some people can start their spiritual journey here. It can be supplemented. It can be inspired and continued on. And there's so many talented and entertaining readers. I'm gonna talk about that. I might have to segment it, like the readers who are spiritually gifted. And what I mean by spiritually gifted is like they have a lot of spiritual insights, more than just reading cards or more than just intuition, but can and will put people up on game in terms of spiritual information, right? Versus ones who are super talented, but you can't be talented and entertaining and not resonate, right? So it has to be a combination. So, excuse me. So let's get to the cons. The cons are at 1435. Okay. The general readings and all components of the reading is not going to jive with all people or even when the reading resonates, there's certain parts of the reading where, okay, nope, that doesn't make any sense, right? Some readers have great personalities, but are not experienced or seasoned spiritualists, right? And that's what I was talking about, people getting not really realizing that their life is being impacted by negative energies or entities, negative work that has been done on them. And so, listening to a reading may not get you through unless that reader can speak to that energy. And I know that as a reader, if I'm in a general reading and I start just, because that literally was a message, and I think it was a Thursday message, and it might still be here on YouTube, but I remember I was live and people started to tune out because a lot of people don't want to hear that. And people think that avoiding that energy is going to shift it or help you to avoid the energy. No, avoiding that energy allows that energy to set with you, allow it to grow, and allow your blessings to start to dissipate, because negative entities and energies, they use your blessings, your potential, your energy for itself, right? So ignoring it helps it to grow. And I don't care if you're a billionaire, right? You don't want that energy attached to you. It is difficult to know which parts pertain to you and which do not, because it's a general reading, right? There's some parts that resonate because your higher self is tapping in. And there's some parts that resonate because you want it to resonate, because your lower self is tapping into the reading, right? So it's difficult. So if you're not doing the spiritual work, it's difficult to know which parts are truly for you. People end up making life decisions based on general readings. That's a no-no. Number one, any divination, doesn't matter whether it's tarot, doesn't matter whether it's general or personal. It doesn't matter whether it is tea leaves, runes, I Ching, psychic abilities. Any divination is current tense. It's not future tense. You're not supposed to predict the future, right? Because nobody can, because everybody has free will. And if everybody has free will, those energies are always changing, not to mention all the universal energies that are coming in and changing. And so you should go to divinations for guidance. You make the final decision, right? But when your favorite reader says X, Y, and Z, and you make a life decision based upon that, you're giving somebody else way too much power. And what negative attachments do that reader have? You may not know that, right? The entity that's given them insight might be a low vibrational negative entity that helps them be charismatic and use that trait to draw people in, give them insights, and then F your life up because they got you hooked, right? There are some readers who are willing participants in that energy, and then there's readers who are not willing participants. They don't even know that they have a negative energy attached to them. So you have to be very discerning and very careful. My whole thing is holistic and mixing spirituality with practicality. It is literally the temperance and the star card exemplified, right? Having a foot in the spiritual realm, but being grounded as well, having that balance. Okay. Most people cannot differentiate why the readings resonate. Does it resonate with the higher self, the part of us that's connected to the divine, or our lower self being triggered? So I talk to that. So it's hard to do this list because everything is interconnected. So I will jump into Another bullet point. There is spiritual warfare happening on some channels between readers, right? Who wants to be involved with that? Like, people like drama, right? And so people tune in to all of the drama, right? But what is that drama about, right? That drama is not definitely moving the watchers, the viewers forward, right? Can be entertaining because drama is a part of entertainment, but no bueno. Mhm. Readers can drop off like flies. You can have a favorite reader, and especially because of that spiritual warfare, they can drop off, right? When I'm working with clients and they are under spiritual attack, I help them get from under that spiritual attack and avoid spiritual attack, in the future. Never, never, ever help them to engage in the offense of spiritual attack. They should not go after other people, even if somebody sent something to them. You don't want that. So you're dealing with people that you don't know. They may have a great personality. May have great insights. You don't know what they're doing behind the scenes, right? And people can get spiritual and demonic attacks via online. Yes. So, and the fact that there were a few readers at one point at the same time who dropped off like flies. Talented readers, some mediocre readers. Oh my gosh. Anyway, not gonna go there. And so you get a reader that resonates with you, and next thing you know, they're gone. What is that, right? Some readers have negative energies attached to them that affects their work. I talked about that. Most readers only do general readings because YouTube is their income and they do not offer to take people further, which is dangerous, right? So if you have a favorite reader and they got a lot of subscribers and YouTube is essentially paying the bills and then some, they stop giving private readings. So you can't go from the general reading and then get a personal, right? And then if you go to another reader, whether on YouTube or outside of YouTube, you're going to expect answers and to go deeper into that general reading. And you can't because that person has no idea what you're talking about in that general reading, right? So it can become extremely confusing. The few readers that still give private readings on YouTube are expensive AF because once you get a certain following, you have to differentiate between who's willing to pay you and people who are just addicted to readings and, wasting your time not moving forward. Not meaning that people who are willing to pay those high prices will, but you get a different clientele, you get a different energy. So I'm not speaking down to that at all. But if you're a person who cannot afford that, then it's not a possibility for you, right, with that reader. And most of the readings that they do give, if they're a YouTube reader, is on video. It's not live. You don't get that one-on-one attention. You can ask follow-up questions later, but it's not the same as being in the moment when they say something and that thing doesn't, but wait a minute, Javier said yada, 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 yada. And then they can, read the cards or, whatever tool that they're using, including themselves, and they can investigate that question more right then. But then after you finish a reading, that energy dissipates, right? And for you to come back into that reading, a lot of times they don't go back in and tap into the spiritual realm. They'll just give you an answer. That part. Okay. Um, there is little opportunity for true growth with general readings on YouTube, right? You have to take it off of YouTube. You have to go further into your spirituality, right? Um, the readers that get a lot of followings, a lot of times it's personality based and it's entertainment based, which I have no problem with because I follow some of the people that resonate with me. It's entertaining to me, right? Um, but if you get sucked into the personality and the entertainment component of it, then you're not really looking at the spiritual, and it's not holistic. It may not be helpful at the end of the day. And on YouTube, everybody's essentially a number, right? The readers ourselves are numbers. The people who watch are numbers, because that's what YouTube cares about, right? And so, in terms of pushing people out there, they have their algorithm. Readers have noticed that there's biases within that algorithm, and and so some of the talented readers may not be getting to you. And like I said, I'm watching readers, I've been watching them for a while, and then they start shouting out other readers that I've never heard of. And so, right, why would that not come to me if I'm watching this particular reader and that reader is watching and shouting out another reader? Readers do not have the knowledge, expertise, or belief in, and therefore cannot help with serious spiritual attacks. And I've already mentioned that, okay? Now, the way to use general readings and make sure that they are a tool to help you versus keep you in a vicious cycle. I don't remember what the other one was. Okay, something 35. Okay, so you want to be able to grow, right? And you don't want to stay on a vicious cycle, right? Number one, you want to keep a journal of your readings, right? Even the general readings, right? As a spiritualist, I was guided by my guides to teach people my process. And a part of my process is to keep, don't worry about this, happened when I was moving. I keep a journal. I have a digital journal, and that just, it doesn't work for me as well as a handwritten journal, right? And so I have the date, I have the day, and I write down the cards and the meanings. All readers with the general readings, they're not going to show you all of the cards. As a reader, I do. So it might be hard, but you can write down the message, right? And the good thing about YouTube that you can pause it so that you can write down the message, right? If you're up here and you're watching reader after reader after reader after reader after reader, it's going to be difficult for you to do this process. If you do that, you could pick certain readers, your favorites, or the ones that really resonate with you. Just write that one down, right? And you're going to label each reading with a date, who gave the reading, is it a personal reading or a general reading? This way you can go back, read your notes, denote any trends amongst the readings and messages. Are there general readings aligning with the personal readings within the same time periods? And you also want to create, I don't know if this is on my list, a plan of action. What are you going to do in order to get that promise? So the future tense is the promise, right? The potential future. It's always potential, right? So if your reading said that you're going to get an increase in income, right? You got the 10 of coins as the last card, and then all the clarifiers are clarifying, yes, you got bounty coming. you need to have a plan of action. How are you going to move forward in order to get the bounty? What actions are you going to take? Right? Number two, if you watch general readings several times a day, multiple times a day, multiple days a week, you have an addiction to hearing the possibilities opposed to taking control and actually doing the work to obtain what you want or need. You need the changes in order to change your trajectory, right? Because too much of anything is no good. No bueno. So you have to, shift how you're using these YouTube readings. Create a top 3 list of general reading readers, right? If you don't have it already, create a top 3. Save them and give yourself a viewing allowance, whether it is measured in time or number of videos, whatever is best for you, most beneficial to you, stick to it. Example, I will only watch 3 hours of general readings in a week's time, or I will only watch 1 general reading from each of my top 3 readers within a week, right? And that can keep you focused. Take note of a favorite reader that no longer resonates, right? And that's where that entertaining, you resonate with the person, but maybe the reading doesn't resonate, right? If the readings no longer resonate, stop watching, right? If you're going to watch for entertainment, that's different, right? But if the readings don't resonate, don't watch for the readings, right? Do not open yourself up to too many readers. It's not spiritually healthy, and you can actually get a spiritual attack or attachment because of things that are going on with them, right? And those things can transfer via online. And telephone and any telecommunication in person. So try not to open up yourself to too many readers. Do not make life decisions based upon general readings. Find a trustworthy reader who does personal readings. If there is something from a general reading that is stirring your spirit, go deeper into it with a personal reading. Ask, why is this resonating? Like, be honest. I saw a general reading and it really spoke to my soul, and I want to see why it's triggering me, why it's speaking to me, right? So that reader can tap into that specific energy and message as it pertains to you. Do not accept answers from the reader, but from your spirit team. Your spirit team is your high vibrational ancestors, your spirit guides, your guardian angels, any saints, orishas, archangels, ascended masters that is attached to your journey in order to help you push God's kingdom forward. So all of these high vibrational entities work for God, right? And so if you go to a reader, ask them specifically insights from your spirit team or your spirit guide. If you don't like to use the term spirit team, your spirit guide. Make sure that when they're asking questions, they're speaking out loud in their prayer. Spirit guide of Randa, speak truth to power. She needs to know why Dante is not calling her back, right? She needs to know why the general message on YouTube resonated with her so deeply, right? Because that message can be tapping into your lower self, or it could be tapping into your higher self, right? You need to know. You need to differentiate. You always want to make sure that reader is tapping into godly spirits. So I hope this information resonated with you. I hope that you can take it with you. I hope that you can use it. I am sitting before you in front of my apothecary. I do give personal readings. That's my thing. So my thing on YouTube is to give out information and Maybe I'll do some readings here and there. Okay, I'm getting a spiritual message last night. I was talking to someone, and I kept itching. That's one of my spiritual messages when my spiritual guides are trying to get my attention. And so, yeah. So if you need a general, I'm not a general reading. If you need a personal reading, a private reading, the information is below. I will be glad to help you out and to help move you forward. I also have, I'm going to be doing workshops here in my location. And I also have a course that I teach, co-creator course, how to build the life that you want by using spirituality. Okay. All right. So see you soon. Bye.